Is the movie Weapons causing mass hysteria among the people that live in Virginia? But before we get into this topic, I'm Stephanie and I talk about the paranormal strange, and sorry that I have been missing you guys. I am a little sick today. You can kind of maybe hear it in my voice. So my setup is a little bit different because I am resting in bed as one should. So as you've probably been seeing on the internet, people are reporting that children are being abducted, and yet the police doesn't want to talk about it. But the reality is that these videos, at least when I was watching them, kind of gave me a little bit of skepticism and a little bit of like, well, what is really happening here? So I went to Google and I found that the police has issued a statement and they have debunked it. They have talked about a couple of things, saying that there's no evidence, there has been no footage, and the reports that people are saying online do not match up with the actual reports that are coming into the local law offices. Originally, when people were talking about the missing children, at first it was just missing children, and then it developed into an ice cream truck. And what's really scary about this is that people have been now watching closely ice cream truck drivers, what time they're out at night, and there are some valid points that I've seen on the internet. I mean, I made a video on this, but I will reiterate it here, is that you can't just go around pointing fingers because you're suspicious and you're seen on the internet, oh my God, this and the third. Like, these people are also humans, right? These people own a business, driving an ice cream truck around. They probably have to go from point A to point B, and that does include driving at night. So let's just say they had a long day, maybe outside of where they live, and they might have to drive the ice cream truck far away. We don't know what they're dealing with. Or maybe they're going to a party and they were hired to sell ice cream at a event, and they're probably out late at night. Well, yes, there's been a lot of videos of people complaining and being suspicious and pointing fingers. There's even this video here where this guy is driving down the highway and yelling at this ice cream truck. There's videos of also people pointing out that they have family members that have gone out late at night to buy ice cream at like 10 o'clock at night and so on. And I don't know about you guys, but I am a night owl. I actually wish things were open later, but I also sympathize with local employees, retail, and well, not retail, but food service industry people. Like, y'all want to go home. I get that. So it is kind of cool when I do see food trucks out and about at night. And I feel like no one bats an eye when it's food, but when it's ice cream, they do, and they get suspicious. And again, I see the side, but I'm also going to err on the side that these people need to make a buck, and some people crave sweets and snacks late at night. I've been an Uber, I've been a DoorDash delivery driver. I've done late night drives to drop off people snacks at night from like a 7-Eleven. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I think it's very possible. It's just that we often associate an ice cream truck with children, and children are awake in the day, and then it's a hot summer day. But people crave ice cream year round at different odd hours of the night. That's normal, right? So I do think that spreading misinformation is very wrong on this level, to the point that, like I was showing this video, this guy is just yelling at someone down the highway and like all of a sudden assuming and accusing them of like kidnapping children. It's just not okay. So then there's this article that people.com wrote, and they talked about how they believe that this whole mass kidnapping scare is based off of the movie Weapons. Now, I have another point that I will address here, but for right now, let's stick with the weapons part. While this article has an interesting title, most of the article is debunking it. So they're talking about how like the police is not investigating, as I already mentioned, that 88 children were reported missing during the week of August 3rd to August 9th, the week of many of the posts that were popping up everywhere. Virginia State Police also said that the total missing children reported that week was down from the 2025 weekly average of 98. So since the beginning of the year, 3,000 and some children have been reported missing. The majority are runaways, and only 4% remain missing, according to the state police. And that's a very important fact to note as you're seeing the misinformation spread on the internet. But then the question now remains, Is a movie spreading mass hysteria? Probably. I mean, there was the maybrokenmissing.website.com, and it was really real. It was like breaking news and all this stuff. And I remember doing a video on it, and people like thought it was real until I said, no, this is like the movie, this is like in light of the movie Weapons, etc. So I can see that the popularity of this film might have sparked some hysteria of like being very vigilant of like your local neighborhood. Maybe like the website was being spread around like wildfire with the popularity of the website, and just some people were not media literate enough to distinguish the two, or they don't watch horror movies, because like on the website they reference like Barbarian and stuff, so like anybody that's watched that film like immediately would say, look at this website and say, hey, this is fake. The whole thing with like the ice cream truck has become like such an urban legend. I think of this YouTube video that was posted 16 years ago called Who's Hungry, and if you know, you know. And it was this black and white animated short, and it was about a ice cream truck man that abducted two children. And then we have the infamous Goosebumps. Like, I loved Goosebumps, and there was this one episode called Catching a Cold where this ice cream truck would pop up in the middle of the night, and this kid was just like, I want this ice cream, and little did he know he should have never ate it. Holy memory rock, thank you for this person that made the comment. They said Dexter, and I believe it was a season 1 ice cream truck killer.
But from my understanding is that this was more of like a dynamic between Dexter and his sister, and not necessarily like a ice cream truck, not just like an ice truck. So I see what people were doing here with that, but if I'm thinking of the wrong episode, let me know below. But I'm specifically talking about like ice cream truck urban legends abducting children type of stuff.
I'm sure there's like real cases, but for right now I'm just referencing like media tropes on this urban legend. It just really has cemented itself into that fear. My advice for people when they run into things like this is to just do a quick Google search, and also like pay attention to what is currently popular in pop culture. I'll give you another example if you don't believe me. Back in the early 90s, the chupacabra lore was so popular, and there were some skeptics that were saying, well, it's not real. The movie Species came out, and maybe this is why people are now on this mass hysteria thing, saying that they're reporting seeing a chupacabra because it looks somewhat alike. I don't think they did, but who knows? I'm open to the idea. Either way, that is my advice for you guys, and that's all I have. Thank you for tuning into my video. Thank you so much for the kind comments, and if you have any suggestions or topics you want me to cover, let me know. And until next time, you guys, stay strange.